Hello, we're back again with Dr. Sonia Karpal. And on the first episode, if you missed it, we were talking about just some of the basics of digestion and some tips to help you to be regular and why digestion is so important. So if you missed it, go ahead and check it out. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most common problems, I think, is irritable bowel syndrome. So a lot of people are suffering with this what we call in Ayurveda Vishma Agni, where it's irregular. Like you might have constipation one day, you might have runny stools another day, and you have a lot of stomach issues, pain, tightness, maybe bloating, or acid, right? Those are kind of two opposites, but some of the things that people are experiencing. So Dr. Sonia, maybe you can help address that issue and give some tips on I guess starting off with what is the cause, right? What are the causative factors of these issues, and what can we do from there?
Yeah, definitely, Rebecca. This problem of IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, or what we call in Ayurveda grahini or sangrahini. It's a really common problem nowadays. Many people are suffering from this. Even the children are suffering from this. And this starts with the mild problem of indigestion that we ignore initially. If we have long time of flatulence having in our stomach, we are not able to have good appetite. And if for a long time we are on certain antacids, that also damages our agni. If we are eating in very much hurried state, we are just running here and there and we are eating on a hurried state, then also our digestive files gets disturbed, or Visham Agni gets created, because our brain doesn't know when to secrete the digestive juices and when not. So this also causes improper digestion. So when we have improper, simple digestive issues for a long time, what happens is the lining of our large intestine gets disturbed, and it stops absorbing the food, the nutrients from the food, and that leads to, sometimes it causes constipation, sometimes it causes loose motion. And if this problem persists for long, the ability of large intestine completely fails up, and we are not able to even digest the lightest of the meals, and it causes the white discharge from the anus and improper digestion, the ama preparation that happens in irritable bowel syndrome.
I think from modern medicine to, if you look at like the gut lining and stuff, and there's like gaps and things, and then so those gaps, there becomes like almost holes or stress within the gut lining, right? So there's what we call like leakage, right? Irritable bowel syndrome, there's leakage of toxins outside of the stomach and not proper digestion going in. So
it is also known as inflammatory bowel syndrome. There is inflammation in the lining of the large intestine. There are villi, small I would say comb-like structures in the large intestine that absorbs the nutrition from the food, and these gets damaged, and then they get completely flattened and they get inflamed too much. That's why people are having pain in the stomach, they are having bloating in the stomach, and many issues.
Yeah. So having flatulation and things like that and bloating, I think a lot of people are living with that and thinking that that's normal, right?
Yeah,
but it's not. We can be healed from those things, and we don't have to have bad gas problems and things like that if we can get back to healing our gut, right? So if somebody has this chronic condition that's been over a time of buildup of habits, right? How can we begin to address that problem to help repair the gut?
See what you can do at home. We can start with that. At home, first thing, we need to include some of the things, the spices that are digestive in nature. Okay, like fennel seeds. Fennel seeds are really digestive in nature. They improve the digestion, and they will help to digest the undigested food that has been stuck in the large intestine. So we can take 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds after every meal, and we can see difference only in 2 days.
So that's fennel seeds. That's such a great tip. And just looking at it from the Ayurvedic perspective, right? When there's inflammation and pain, right? then we want to use spices that are more like cooling. So fennel is right, more of a cooling spice.
For irritable bowel syndrome, when there is inflammation, inflammation is a perspective of the fire component in our body. So we
Right.
have to use those spices that are cooling and improves digestion. If someone is having only flatulence or bloating, we use spices that are heating and digestive. So there are different kind of spices over there.
Right.
So fennel seeds are cooling, they will reduce the inflammation, and they are also digestive. We say in Ayurveda, it should be Deepan, Pachan, and Grahi. It should improve the digestive fire, it should digest the undigested food in the intestine, and it should help large intestine to absorb the nutrients. Okay, so this way we have to treat that patient. So if there is inflammatory bowel syndrome or irritable bowel syndrome, the first thing we can include is the fennel seeds. And the other thing that we have to cut down all the raw foods in the diet. While in modern science, doctors say that we need to increase fiber, but in Ayurveda, what we say is we have to cut all the fruits, all the salads, all the sprouts. We only need to eat the cooked food that should be very easily digestible food, so that our intestine gets some time to digest the food that is there in the that has been stuck up in the large intestine, that is sticking to the walls of the large intestine. So the digestive fire should be used to first digest that food so that it gets cleared up, and then gradually we can improve the eating pattern. The other thing that helps really well is taking buttermilk. Taking buttermilk after our meals, that is also really helpful for improving the digestion. Freshly prepared buttermilk at home, you can churn just 2 teaspoons of curd prepared from cow milk and add 1 glass of water, churn it in the mixer, add spices like roasted cumin seed powder. Okay, if you can do it in Indian way, you can just crackle some of the cumin seeds in the cow ghee, clarified butter in small container, and add that to the buttermilk. So that is the best recipe to improve your digestion. You can take it with your meals in the lunch timings and in the breakfast. So these small things helps a lot in improving the digestion.
Yeah, I think when it's a little bit difficult, maybe for someone to come across buttermilk, and maybe even, you know, in US, we might not have the best sources of milk too. And, you know, understanding that that's very important too, because some of these sources could have the way that they treat their animals, right? There could be extra hormones and things and like that. But how about some other ways? Because I think there's also like the CCF tea, you know, but the CCF tea, like the coriander, cumin, fennel. So we can also do that.
That is a good combination.
If we don't have buttermilk, we can do that in, like, make a tea too.
Yes, that is, tea is basically a decoction. That we say kashayam. Okay, so that is really good. And what you can do is you can use this combination. Just take 2 to 3 liters of water and add 2 tablespoons of this powder and boil it and keep it overnight. In the morning, strain it and take that water for whole the day. It is really digestive and help you in this IBS issue. And yes, you can take fennel seeds after meals. They are really helpful.
And then, doctor, when we come to India, then we can have your buttermilk preparation.
Definitely, you're completely welcome over here. And even the clarified butter, the cow ghee, is really much helpful in improving the digestion and digesting the undigested food. Right.
So cooking with ghee too, because it's a carrier for nutrients, right? What do you call that in Ayurveda? Anupana?
Anupan.
Anupan. So it's just explain what that means.
Okay. See, whatever we eat, either the medicines or the food, when it is combined with the right, when the combination is right, it gets very well digested and its nutrients get released very well. So we have anupan in every thing, like the buttermilk is a really good anupan for food because it helps to digest the food very quickly. In
it's
the same way,
a transport, like a good carrier of nutrients.
Right? Nutrients, and it helps to digest the things well. It helps to absorb the things well. and it also helps the assimilation of the nutrients very well in the tissues. Like many people have completely stopped using the ghee, and that has caused many health issues in last few years. Like the heart diseases are there, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's is there, and osteoarthritis is there. So this is the problem that has happened, and nowadays that is again very much popular, that add ghee to your vegetable or your pulses that you have cooked, so it will help you to improve your digestion.
Yes. So it's more nurturing, right? So it'll help repair the gut from after years and
It
years.
also gives good skin and good hair.
Yes. I can tell the difference since I've been using more ghee. I use a lot of ghee.
Good.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, back to just discussing the problem of IBS, right? So one thing is cooking with properly with proper spices and good oils like ghee and things like that. What are some of the other ways? I guess, you know, from an Ayurvedic perspective, we look at cutting out the causative factors for one. That's some of the first things to do, right? So looking at the habits that haven't been helping your condition, right? So, which we discussed in our first video, is like the importance of eating regular, not eating at rush times, and all of those things can play into helping to repair your gut. And then we talked about just now about spices and how to eat properly to help heal the gut. Is there any other suggestions that you can give?
The same suggestion that we discussed in the first episode: eating stress-free, eating with our complete focus, so that our body get to know that they have to secrete the digestive juices well. Eating cross-legged, and these are the basic things. Don't combine the raw and the cooked food together. Take cooked food separately from the raw food. So these are the basics that we say. And eat according to your appetite, and eat according to your dosha also. We will discuss this in next episode. That is also very much needed. If one is a Pitta Prakriti person, and he or she is taking too much of fire, including food items that increase the Pitta dosha, it will certainly lead to acidity and heartburn and many health problems. Right. So if we are Pitta Prakriti person, we have to take the cooling food. So we can discuss it in next episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much, doctor, for your time. I think we got some good tips on what we can do to help heal our gut, because it's so important, you know, for our health and to feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Sonia.
Most welcome. Thank you.
It is always strongly recommended that you consult with a personal healthcare provider prior to applying any of the education provided herein. The educational and informational content provided by Reset and Restore and Atreya is in no way, shape, or form to take the place of personalized care provided by a personal healthcare provider. Please use the information we provide in conjunction with such professional advice. The content we provide is purely educational in nature about Ayurveda and various wellness topics, and is not meant to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. We make no claims or warranties to cure, treat, or prevent any disease or condition.